Good morning, how are you? Good morning, how are you? How are you this special day? We're so glad you came to play. Good morning, how are you? All right, guys, it's Thursday. That means we're going to be talking about science. Science is so cool. Oh, hi, Grayson. I see you there. And Anna, hello. Oh, my gosh. Wow. Oh, we just found Amelia's fox that we've been looking for like a whole full day. Oh, my gosh. She's going to be so excited. All right. Anyway, we're talking about science, which is so cool. It's just how things work. It's just being curious and asking lots of questions about how the world works, right? And everything that's going on around us. Hi, Drew and Cole and Ellie. All right. So we are going to get started with our calendar before we jump into our science. And the calendar is going to give you a clue of what we're talking about today. Do you see what's drawn there? Clouds. We're going to be talking about clouds. That's right. Because it's sunny today, right? I can see the sun coming in my window for sure. But yesterday it was gray and I couldn't see the sun. But the sun was still there, right? It was just covered up by the clouds. So some days are sunny and there's no clouds blocking the sun. And some days are really gray and maybe rainy. And that's when the clouds are covering up the sun. So we're going to be talking about clouds. Why are some days sunny and some days not? Why do sometimes clouds have rain come out of them and sometimes they don't? So let's do a little bit of scientific investigation about that. But first, we are going to do our calendar here. Can anybody tell me what the number of the day is?
2.
That's right. It's an easy one. It's 2. You got it. Yay! Amelia's so happy to have her fox back. It is the 2nd of what month? Do we remember? Starts with what letter? A. It's April. That's right. And what's our day of the week? Can anybody read it here? Thursday. That's right. It starts with a T, but also an H. And when T and H are together, they're friends and they make a th for Thursday. Today is Thursday. April the 2nd. 2020. That is the day. Ah, we have a call for Weather Bear. All right. Send Weather Bear in. Woo! Here she is. All right. So Weather Bear is still wearing her awesome sweater because it's still kind of chilly, but it's going to be sunny. And when it's sunny, that usually means it's warmer. But why? Why? Well, the sun is really, really hot, right? Even though it's far away. So even just having the clouds covering the sun a little bit will make it a little bit cooler. So today will be probably a little bit warmer than yesterday because even though it's a little bit chilly, we still have the sun, and the sun is helping to make things a little bit warm. And also we know that the plants are going to be using their special superpower of photosynthesis. They're going to be soaking in all that beautiful sunlight and they're going to be converting it into food, which means we're going to have bigger leaves unfurling out of the trees. We're going to have flowers. It's going to be beautiful. Hi, Daksha. Hi, Lynn. And speaking of plants, our plant of the day is one that's just starting to come up here. It's a cool plant, though. This is called a purple shamrock. I don't know if you can see there. That is a purple shamrock. Usually you see shamrocks that are green. These are purple. And this is particularly cool because, like as you can see, most of my pot is empty. That's because this plant sleeps all through the winter. In the summer and in the fall even, it was full of lots of purple shamrocks and flowers, even little white flowers. They're really pretty. But it went to sleep over the winter. But now, as you can see, some of them are waking up and they're saying it is spring and we're going to start to think about putting out our leaves and getting some sunshine and maybe even making some flowers. So this is our plant of the day, all the plants that are waking up, but especially this cool purple shamrock. All right, we are going to also water our classroom plants here. So our money tree and our bromeliad and the succulent, this guy over here. All right. Okay, so we're going to be talking about clouds. Here we go. All right, you ready? You want to do it? So Lily has made some illustrations There we go. Whoop. As you can see, here's what a cloud looks like. And a cloud might float along in the sky just like that. There we go. Whoa. Oh my gosh. Oh, yep. But there's so many clouds. Yeah. If I'm the sun, you can't even see me, right? So the sun's still there even when it's covered with clouds, right? But then the clouds go away and then you can see the sun, right? Okay, we're going to do a little bit more with those in just a minute. We're going to do a little bit of an experiment with those. But first, we're going to learn about some clouds with this book. It is called Clouds, and you can see how you spell clouds, right here. What letter does cloud start with?
C.
Right, C. Clouds, C-L-O-U-D-S, Clouds. This book is by Anne Rockwell, illustrated by Frené Lessac. All right, so here at the beginning of the book, they show clouds. They're not all white puffy clouds, though, like the one that Lily was showing us, right? Clouds actually have a lot of different shapes, right? They look really different sometimes according to the type of cloud and according to how much water is in them.
That one means that one means that it's going to be warm.
Oh, really? Okay. I think this book is going to tell us about that. And sometimes you even see shapes in the clouds, like this one Lily made. What is that shape? What do you think?
A rabbit.
Yeah, Lily made a cloud that looks like a rabbit. Cool, huh? All right, so let's see if we can learn about these clouds, and we'll see if Amelia's right about those wispy clouds, meaning it's warm. All right, look up at the sky. Do you see white or gray shapes moving across it? Those are clouds. These kids are laying down and looking to see if they can see shapes. Most clouds are too far away to feel. You can only look at them. But there's one kind of cloud that you can feel standing on the ground. That is fog. It's the lowest kind of cloud. You might have been outside and it felt really wet and it was dark. That's a cloud that's right down on the earth. You can learn a lot from looking at clouds. The shape of clouds and whether they are dark or bright can tell you how high they are and what kind of weather they will bring. So we could be meteorologists. Those are special scientists that can tell the weather. All clouds are made of water and particles of dust too small to see. So they're not just water, they also have dust in there. The highest clouds are 6 to 9 kilometers up in the sky. That's 3 to 4 miles high. It's so cold up there that all the water in these clouds freezes and becomes tiny crystals of ice. There are 3 kinds of clouds up in the atmosphere: cirrus clouds, cirrostratus clouds, and cirrocumulus clouds. Woo, big words, right? Look at all those different kinds of clouds. Woo, pretty. The beginning of a cloud's name tells us how high up it is. The next part shows what shape it is. Cirrus clouds are hardly there. They look like wispy white feathers trailing across the blue sky. They mean sunny weather with no rain. There we go, Amelia. That's right. Sunny weather, going to be warm. They are far apart and let the sun shine on the earth. Cirrostratus clouds can cover the whole sky. Ooh, look at that. What does that mean? If you see a cloud like that, I think we all know what that means, right?
Storm.
Yeah, they tell us it may rain or snow in 12 to 24 hours. Stratus means clouds that are flat and shaped out like a blanket. Small, puffy white clouds scattered across the entire sky are cirrocumulus clouds. Cumulus means that a cloud is rounded instead of flat. Cirrocumulus means it's going to get colder. What? I did not know that. That's really cool. I guess that's why that lady's putting on her sweater, right? Clouds in the middle layer of Earth's atmosphere are about 1 to 4 miles away. There are 2 kinds, altostratus and altocumulus clouds. Many of these clouds are part water and part ice. Only some of the water freezes in the middle clouds because the atmosphere closer to the Earth is warmer. And there you go, you can see a whole bunch of those other kinds of clouds. Altostratus clouds are gray, blue, and streaky and cover the sky. Look at that. They tell you it could rain that night or the next day. Okay. Altocumulus clouds look like ocean waves, puffy, white, and gray. If you see them on hot, humid days, a thunderstorm is probably on its way. Whoop, those horses better run for cover, right? Off to the barn. Low clouds are only about 2 miles above Earth. They are called cumulus stratus, stratocumulus, nimbostratus, and cumulonimbus clouds. Woo, here we go. Cumulus clouds look like white puffs of cotton. They may pile up high like mountains in the sky. They are often seen on bright, sunny days. Stratus clouds are gray and cover the whole sky. They usually mean rain, but not much. Stratocumulus clouds are gray and look like a row of fuzzy clumps hanging low in the sky. Rain doesn't fall from those clouds. Nimbostratus and cumulonimbus clouds both tell you there will be very wet or even stormy weather. Nimbo or nimbus in a cloud's name means it's a storm cloud. Nimbostratus clouds are dark gray and ragged looking at the bottom. Rain or snow falls steadily from them. The scariest clouds. Woo, scary clouds. All right, here we go. Woo, spooky clouds. Here we go. They are cumulonimbus clouds. If you are standing under them, they will look dark gray instead of white. Sometimes they look almost black. They seem to swell as they climb higher and higher into the sky. If you see cumulonimbus clouds in the sky, you should run inside as fast as you can. They mean a thunderstorm is coming, and thunderstorms can be dangerous. Sometimes balls of ice called hail fall from cumulonimbus clouds. Sometimes dangerous funnel-shaped tunnels of wind called tornadoes grow out of them. Holy moly! Clouds, man. They're intense. If there were no clouds, Earth would be a very different place. Clouds are important to everything that lives and grows here. They bring the rain that all plants and animals need. If there were no clouds, there would be no rain. Nothing could live. If there were no clouds to hide the sun, Earth would become very hot during the day and very cold at night. The temperature change would be too much for most plants and animals to live and grow. Sometimes you can see more than one kind of cloud in different parts of the sky at the same time. That's because wind is always blowing away some clouds and bringing in new ones. That means the weather will change. So the wind is blowing the clouds around. Now that you know which clouds bring rain or snow, which brings storms, and which brings sunny weather, you can tell in advance what the change will be. That's what scientists called meteorologists do. Oh, look at that planet Earth there. I like that. More than half the Earth is always covered with clouds, even though you may not see any where you live. But somewhere else on Earth, someone else is looking at clouds in the sky above. I'm looking at our sky. I don't see any clouds up there at all right now, but that means that over half the Earth is covered in clouds. So maybe your grandparents are looking up and they're seeing clouds where they are. It's always changing. The air is always moving the clouds around. All right, and there's a picture of some more kinds of clouds. All right, clouds are super cool. Now, since we did so much science, we're going to read a fun book about clouds. Not that science isn't fun. Science is super fun. But this is a crazy book about pretend things that could happen with clouds. Rain and snow, they fall from clouds, right, in our real world. But in this, they imagine that food comes from clouds. What? Can you imagine? What food do you think would come from a cloud? I don't know. Let's find out. This is called Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Some of you might have seen this movie. We were all sitting around the big kitchen table. It was Saturday morning, pancake morning. Grandpa was doing the flipping. Seconds later, something flew through the air, headed towards the kitchen ceiling, and landed right on Henry. That pancake landed on him. That's probably really hot. I'm not sure I'd like that. After we realized the flying object was only a pancake, we all laughed. And we ate all the pancakes, even the one that landed on Henry. That night, touched off by the pancake incident, Grandpa told us the best tall tale bedtime story he ever told. Across an ocean over lots of huge bumpy mountains, across 3 hot deserts and 1 smaller ocean, there lay the town of Chewin' which was much like any other town. It had gardens and trees and people and cats, but there were no food stores in Chewin' They didn't need any. The sky supplied all the food they could want. The only thing that was really different was its weather. It came 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Everything they needed came from the sky. Whatever the weather served, that was what they ate. But it never rained, and it never snowed snow, and it never blew just wind. It rained things like soup and juice. And it snowed mashed potatoes and green beans. And sometimes the wind blew in storms of hamburgers. The people could watch the weather report on television in the morning, and they would have a prediction for the next day's food. When the townspeople went outside, they carried all their plates and cups with them. That way, they would be prepared for whatever kind of weather there was. The menu varied. By the time they woke up in the morning, breakfast was coming down. After a brief shower of orange juice, low clouds of sunny-side-up eggs moved in, followed by pieces of toast. Butter and jelly sprinkled down for the toast, and most of the time it rained milk afterwards. For lunch one day, frankfurters or hot dogs, already in their rolls, blew in from the northwest at about 5 miles an hour. There were mustard clouds nearby. Then the wind shifted to the east and brought in baked beans. A drizzle of soda finished off the meal. Crazy. Dinner one night consisted of lamb chops, becoming heavy at times, with occasional ketchup. Periods of peas and baked potatoes were followed by gradual clearing, with a wonderful jello sunset in the west. Isn't that beautiful? The sanitation department of Chew and Swallow had a rather unusual job. They would scoop up all the leftover food and put it in people's gardens for compost. Life for the townspeople was delicious until the weather took a turn for the worse. Oh no, gross stuff. One day there was nothing but gorgonzola cheese all day long. Look at how they have their noses clipped because they don't like that cheesy smell. The next day there was only broccoli, all overcooked. And the next day, there were Brussels sprouts and peanut butter with mayonnaise. Ew, that's gross. Another day, there was a pea soup fog. No one could see where they were going, and they could barely find the rest of the meal. The food was getting larger and larger, and so were the portions. The people were getting frightened. Violent storms blew up frequently. Awful things were happening. Look at all that big mess. That's too much food. One day, there was a storm of pancakes that covered the school. Ah! Lunch one day brought 50-inch strips of cream cheese and jelly sandwiches. Everyone ate themselves sick and had a stomach ache. There was an awful salt and pepper wind accompanied by an even worse tomato tornado. What? Tomato tornado?
Ew.
People were sneezing themselves silly and running to avoid the tomatoes. The town was a mess. There were seeds and pulp everywhere.
Ooh, I would eat those donuts.
I know. Yeah, oh my gosh, look at those. I could go for a donut. Oh my gosh, yeah.
I would be like,
Oh my gosh, especially a big one. Yeah, that would be incredible.
Unlimited donuts.
Yeah, I know. Everything got really bad, so the decision was made to abandon the town of Chew and Swallow. It was a matter of survival. The people glued together giant pieces of stale bread sandwich style with peanut butter, took the absolute necessities with them, and set off on rafts for a new land. After being afloat for a week, they finally reached a small coastal town, which welcomed them with open arms. The bread had held up surprisingly well enough for them to build temporary houses for themselves out of it. Isn't that nice? Thank goodness there are towns like that welcome people when they need help, right? The children all started school again, and everything turned out okay, except for all the food was in shelves, packaged in boxes, cans, and bottles in the grocery store, which was a little bit strange for them. The clouds above their heads were not made of fried eggs, and no one ever got hit by a hamburger again. And no one dared to go back to Chew and Swallow to find out what happened. Henry and I were awake until the very end of Grandpa's story. I remember his goodnight kiss. The next morning, we woke up to see snow falling outside our window. We ran downstairs for breakfast and ate it a little faster so we could go sledding with Grandpa. It's funny, but even as we were sliding down the hill, we thought we saw a giant pat of butter at the top, and we could almost smell mashed potatoes. Look at what the book made them think about. Is that butter?
no, that's the sun.
Yeah, it's the sun, but they're pretending that it's butter. The end. All right, I liked that book. That is a good one. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit more about clouds, and we're going to talk about the sun and the clouds, and also how clouds hold rain. So we're going to make believe that this flashlight is the sun. See, it's, why is it going on there? Ah! How do you make it go on the, whatever, it'll work that way. It's fine. It's fine. All right. Okay, this is the sun. All right, so this is the sun. Let's pretend, woo. All right, so this is one of those puffy white clouds that we talked about. Do you see how you can see through? There's the sun, and the wind is blowing it across. Oh, you can see it now. Here comes the wind. Oh, yeah, you can still see the sun through it, right? So sometimes sun can be seen through clouds. Oh, no, a storm is brewing. A storm is brewing. Ooh, here it comes. Oh, can we see the sun anymore? No, not at all. Because this is a thick storm cloud, right? And even though the sun is always there, when it's a gray day like it was yesterday, you can't see the sun because the cloud is what we call opaque. Opaque means you cannot see through it. All right, well, we want to watch out because there's going to be some rain. All right, thank you very much for that illustration. Now we're going to do a little experiment. Watch out, Amelia, because there's water right below you. All right, so, okay, I'm going to move this thing over. Okay, so I don't know if any of you have cotton balls. If you have cotton balls, then you can try this experiment. It's a little bit messy. You might want to do it in the bathroom and not on your piano bench, but we're going to work with what we have. So we are going to take, yeah? Oh, Amelia got it to work. Okay, good. The flashlight. It's already worked anyway. All right, so we're going to pretend that this is a pond outside, maybe in the forest. And we have some cotton balls here, and these are our clouds, right? And the way the water system works is the pond water evaporates, and it goes up, and it goes into the clouds, and the clouds collect it, and then the clouds make the rain come out. So we are going to see if we can get these to soak up some rainwater, right? So we're going to put those in there. Plop, 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 plop. There we go. Wow. And then plop. All right. And as you can see, they are starting to soak up the rainwater because that's what clouds do. They're formed when the water from ponds and rivers and even the water that's coming up off of trees is soaked up, and then it becomes clouds. And as you can see, these clouds are starting to fill up with water, and they are changing color, which is really cool. And I have some over here that have been soaking for a little bit. And these are like super saturated, as you can see. Whoa, look at how much water is in that cloud. And look, I'm making it rain. Bloop, 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 bloop. And here, oh, maybe we can make a rain storm. Oh, look, it's raining. I'm making it rain. It's coming out of the clouds. And then we could see if we could make it really storm. We could just go, horrible rainstorm. Yeah, it probably will make my hands blue because this is food coloring, yeah. You could even get a couple little figures. Little figures?
No.
Oh, good. All right. Okay, they're getting some figures. All right. You could get some little figures and put them in the bowl, and then you can make it rain on top of the little figures. Also, if you want, you can take those cotton balls and glue them to a piece of paper if you wanted to make some art. Oh, perfect. Great. Ah, good. All right. So here we go. Here we have this horse out for a stroll with her like friend there. There's another friend.
That's
oh
her
dear.
Daughter. That's her daughter.
Her daughter. Okay.
And this is their daughter.
Oh dear. It looks like we see a small bit of rain cloud. Oh dear. I wonder what will happen. I sure hope it doesn't rain too much because we didn't bring an umbrella. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, it's storming. There we go.
They have helmets.
Well, they do have helmets, so it's true. So at least the top of their head won't get wet. So if you don't have cotton balls and you want to try this, you can just do it with wadded up paper towels if you want. And like I said, if you want, you can make some art by gluing gluing some of these to a piece of paper. You can also pretend to make the different kinds of clouds by stretching them out a little. Oh, I don't like the feel of cotton ball stuff. So anyway, that is it for today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and if you see any clouds in the sky, maybe you could draw them, and then you could go back and you could do some research, and you could try and figure out what kind of cloud it is, and then you'll know more about the weather, right? Which is really cool to do. All right, guys, let's see. Oh, there's the foxes that Amelia found. Hello, foxes. We won't make it rain on them because it's food coloring and they'd be stained blue, but yeah. All right, guys, it is time to say goodbye. You ready to sing? It's time to say goodbye. It's time to say goodbye. Wave goodbye to everyone. It's time to say goodbye. We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. Wave goodbye to everyone. We had a lot of fun. We'll see you again tomorrow. We'll see you again tomorrow. Wave goodbye to everyone. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a great day.